would you introduce yourself to the people who are listening to this, please?
Yes, my name is Susanna Mittermaier, and I'm a psychologist educated at the University Clinic in Sweden, in Lund. And I've been working with therapy and neuropsychological testings and different clients with different so-called disorders, everything from, anxiety, depression, and other things that people seek help for. And my approach was always looking for how can you access the resource in what is being presented and turning what seems wrong into something that is usable. And I created something called pragmatic psychology, which is a new approach to creating change and facilitating change for oneself and other people. And one of the tools that I also use are the bars. And the bars are a very simple technique to relax and to access, from that relaxed state, access a certain creativity, new perspectives, new awarenesses that can help you move forward from anything that troubles you to something that brings movement into the matter again and to move forward again. And that's something we now are exploring. The bars have been around the world for many decades. And now it is something that is being used in hospitals and schools and also businesses. And that is something that we are letting the world know about, how that can be applied and the value of it, and how you can use this tool of the bars to create more ease for you in your life.
So this to me sounds a little bit like we are here on the cutting edge of employment care, really.
Absolutely.
Wow. Wow. So like I'm thinking here about like stress. That's a reality we all sort of face in daily life. And what if stress didn't have to be like the overarching sort of layer in an organization or in a company, really?
Yes. Stress is something that is just being taken for granted. People never question stress and what it really is. They just say, I'm stressed. That's it. And anything you take for granted and don't question, it becomes your reality. And you make it real every day. It's like that point of view shapes your reality. Any point of view we have shapes our reality. And if you have the point of view, oh my God, I'm stressed, I'm overwhelmed, you create a position of avoidance towards the world, and new ideas, new things cannot really come to you, cannot really be accessed by you because of the I'm stressed, I have to be careful. It creates a certain it creates a strategy where people try to avoid rather than receive. And something that we are teaching with the bars is relax again, receive. Stress is not minimized by putting up your barriers and avoiding and trying to control everything. From
Yeah.
controlling everything, you create more stress. So that is not a strategy that works. You want to create a different strategy, and the bars are a wonderful tool where you can have a different way of functioning again with the world, where you will see that stress is often something totally different than you think it is.
Okay. Okay. So when I am listening to you, like you're coming like from a different angle than what I've heard before in the business world. So what if all it really took was actually a shift in perspective to increase the productivity and even the profitability in companies?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's like stress and things that you think you cannot handle. That is something where you put your resources, your creativity outside of you. You always think it's something else or someone else is either to blame or something you have to deal with, but never you knowing you have what it takes to deal with the situations that are, that are going on in your life. So yes, it is definitely a different perspective. And I always say it's like a different perspective shift from the dramatic view where you look for the problem and what's wrong to the more
Mm-hmm.
pragmatic where you look at, hey, what actually works already? What, for
Yeah.
example, what do we already have in place that we can nurture so it makes us more resilient and easier to cope with the change that's going on in our company?
Yeah. Wow. Work with what's there. Yeah. Well, so what would it then take like to really empower the individual to tap into their own compass and like to really go forward with the abilities they have to like solve problems in the everyday and like use the stresses to their advantage, kind of?
Yes, it's the willingness to be open for something new and different, I guess. It's people who uh have, like, if you work with employees, if you work with people, or you are, whatever position you are, your CEO or employed, it's first of all, it's having the willingness to know what you know and the capacities you have. It's the willingness to change your own perspective towards yourself. That's where it starts. I mean, we can wish so much for other people, we can wish so much for our employees, but it's really boils down to, okay, am I done with the stress? Am I done with the drama? Have I had enough? And am I willing to make a different choice right now, where I'm willing to know what I'm capable of? I'm done with the holding back or making myself the victim to circumstances or whatever situations. I'm willing to know what I'm capable of, and I'm willing to explore that, and I'm willing to use it to thrive, not just to, get by, but to actually enjoy what I'm doing. And joy is such a success factor that so much of the world has not realized yet. Like, people try to be productive by stress and getting things done. Yep, that's one way. But if you increase the joy factor and the relaxation factor, things run so much smoother. And we see this in nature, and we could learn so much more from that, where things nourish and flower from a totally different way of functioning, from relaxation and playfulness.
Yeah. And there, from my experience in the last years, the bars have come in really handy,
Mm.
whether it was with stressful times, with too many meetings in a short time of a period of time, or even with jet lag. And like, yeah, there is so many ways they have been really coming in handy. Yeah.
Yep, and the bars are really cool too, because it changes your the brain waves are changing, and you start to see things from a different perspective. And then, because you mentioned meetings, you start to question more. You start to question, like, the things you just took for granted, like, we're supposed to have a meeting. Well, you might want to ask, do we require a meeting? And if we have a meeting, does it have to be an hour? Like, for most meetings, they're done in 20 minutes. Like, people have done and said whatever needs to be done and said, and the rest is just like filling out time. So you start to question everything, every way you function in the business, the structures you have with your employees, looking at, okay, what can we keep that actually creates the future, and what can we let go of that just like drains us from energy and resources, where we could have way more ease in the creation.
Wow. Yeah. This really sounds like something to explore.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Is there anything else you would like to share about the bars in business that we have not yet covered that you think is really like important to hear?
Mm. Well, I would say it's something you could start to prioritize, because what people prioritize is their to-do lists, which is wonderful. It's not a wrongness, but if you also prioritize those moments of giving yourself and your body some space, it doesn't make sense, but it does increase productivity. And you see this in I think it's the Japanese culture where they have the power naps. I think there's a different word they're using, where they have, in their workplace, it is a common practice that, you can take 20 minutes and just do some kind of relaxation or meditation or power napping. And then the brain is like a reset, and then you are awake again and the productivity increases. It's just like looking at what works, not the reference point of how you have done business as usual, business as we have done for decades, but hey, what actually needs to change to make things easier? And one of the things is like prioritizing those space moments, where you give yourself and your body some space. And that could be and is a high recommendation from my side, like using the bars, because we have seen in all the studies that have been done with the bars how the brain after one session changes so much in the scans that have been done of the person who have received that treatment. You see the brain waves, like the colors in the brain in the scan, they change completely. And the people, the neuro psychologists that have been doing those studies, they also said this is not usual. Like people usually need many, many, many sessions of different modalities to get that change, and it's done in one session. So, and that session doesn't need to be an hour. Of course, the longer the better. But even if you do a 20 minutes bar session or a half an hour bar session, you can actually sense the change in your world and go, okay, wow, my only choice is not to stress. It doesn't make sense. I don't really understand what changed now, but I just see the world in a different way, in a different light, and I'm ready to move on again, and things change.
Someone said to me the other day when they had first time their bars run, like normally when people talk to me about not stressing, I stress even more and I think even more. And now with you having had your hands on my head with this gentle touch, I'm so relaxed. What just happened?
That.
Yeah.
And it's so surprising how change can be so easy despite of what we've been told and learned all those years growing up in this world, that it has to be a lot of work. It actually can be easy if we allow it.
Here we go. Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much. Yes. What would it take to bring more bars out into the world and
Yeah.
also for business people, maybe even on airports? Let's see what we can create there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
And it's
looking forward to this.
happening. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you.